So many companies, early and quite developed companies, obviously wanted to develop something, and props to them. You know, this is a global effort in a sense, and we cheer for everyone who's working on this. Our approach was a little bit different. While our technology allow us to develop vaccine, we did not want to rush to get to the clinic because we considered strategic questions. Is faster always better? And in the case of viruses, is not always. We know viruses mutate. And in fact, if you're looking around, there are already reports that the COVID-19 has been mutating, meaning if you rush with a product to the market, by the time it's out there, a big chunk of the population may not respond to it. So we said, especially being a small company with a newer technology, which is works in our advantage, we acquired more proteins so we can build a product that may take a little bit longer, but at the same time, it's more robust. So the vaccine we are developing mitigates against the mutations. That was the first thing we wanted to consider. And indeed, we are delivering the vaccine, considering those things, and the reports are coming out. The second aspect we wanted to consider is having a cellular response. Now, this is something a lot of people are not used to. Everyone wants to look at the antigens. At the antibodies developed against a virus. However, viruses love to invade cells, meaning once it's inside the cell, infectivity is higher and the vaccine may not work. So we worked on a cellular response that is more robust and gives an immunity for long term being 5 to 10 years rather than only few weeks of immunity. And that's a pivotal thing if you want to prevent future pandemics. And the third, and I think it's an equally important point, was cost. While our platforms are based on stem cells, we did not want to inject anyone with stem cells or cell therapies because, while many companies are trying to do that, and props to them, at least from our end, vaccine scalability is important. You know, you can't inject only a selected population. Vaccination works by injecting everyone. So if I inject a cellular therapy vaccine, the cost is going to go around $200,000, $100,000 per vaccine. That's not a vaccine anymore. That's not scalable, and that does not provide prevention. So our approach was our vaccine should be very, very cheap. And we projected the cost of our peptide-based vaccine to be, if not less, at least equal to the flu vaccine shot. So something around $16, $10 per injection. So that's affordable for government, third world countries, and everyone. So it really provides prevention at an optimal response. Now, the technology is based on taking the cells, but and that's why we called our company INTELLiSTEM, because the cells in a sense are intelligent. They are able to tell us what's the best peptides to be used to generate that vaccine. And indeed, in our validation and working with our partners in the States, we were able to validate that those peptides are able to mount that immune response. So after we were able to validate the capacity of the vaccine in the animals, we actually are advancing towards the clinical trials. So we are having our discussion with Health Canada here in Canada to have our what's called a pre-IND meeting, in a sense that's similar. It's pre-CTA in Canada, pre-IND in the States to advance to clinical trials. That is happening next week. And now in between this period of time and the time we project to start our trial, let's say by the end of July, hopefully, we will be doing all the animal testing required to show the regulatory bodies, FDA and Health Canada, the safety of the product in animals. And then once that is established, then we start our clinical trial. We're still projecting by the hopefully end of July, early August, to start dosing the first patient.